I was born very physical. I'm the middle child of 3 girls, and my dad didn't have a boy, so I was pretty much that. And I don't know, I was always wrestling around and playing sports, and just my body and being physical has always been a way to express myself creatively, I guess. That's how I became a fighter.
Well, the thing that stood out with Gina was her size. She wasn't this frail little girl. She was 155 pounds, which was normally the starting weight class for men. So that attracted me, and she kicked like a man. A lot of people were kind of on the fence about women fighting MMA. I was totally for it, and I still am totally for it, because an athlete's an athlete. Gender doesn't matter.
This is her pro debut, but she has a Muay Thai record of 12 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw.
It was the very first female mixed martial arts sanctioned event in Nevada, and we were very proud of that we got that to happen. And we were really proud that Gina made history.
I had my first competition, and I fought this girl, and it just came so naturally.
Carano versus Pestova.
I love fighting. It's just real. You know, it's you and the other person trying to take each other's heads off and hurt each other, and who gives first. It's really kind of takes my breath away. It's scary, and it speaks to me.
Big takedown attempt, great sprawl by Gina.
Oh, Gina with the side control and full mount. Pestova could be in trouble early on. She's gonna go for an arm.
Big elbows. Pestova, no, Mazzagatti knee. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
38 seconds of the first round. Listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd. Gina Carano in her MMA debut.
I think she did tremendously well, and she was coached well, and she was trained well.
Give it up for Gina! Conviction!
Absolutely.
Carano!
The local fans love Gina Carano.
It makes me be exactly who I am at that moment in life, and I love that.
I was watching these fights on CBS. CBS started broadcasting these MMA fights on the network. This was a new thing. They were coming on Saturday nights, and Gina was on one of these. She was fighting on CBS on Saturday, and we were watching this fight, and I just thought, wow, somebody should really build a movie around this woman. She's kind of amazing. She's a natural beauty, and she beats people into a pulp in a cage. Why wouldn't you want to build a movie around her? And so I thought, here's an opportunity to combine my interest in making a certain kind of spy film with, you know, an unusual and compelling new person. So I reached out to Gina's people, and I went down to San Diego to talk to her. And I said, well, how would you feel about, you know, being in a movie?
He approached me after I had lost a fight to Cyborg, and it was my first loss in MMA, and I was kind of devastated, had a black eye, and I got a call from my agent, and he came out on a train from Los Angeles, and he just sat down and had a very normal conversation with me. He was like, well, I would like to do a film with you if you want to. And I said, absolutely. And he said, okay, it's gonna happen really fast. And 4 days later, it was happening. And a couple months later, I was in training with Aaron Cohen.
First, fix your hands. First, get back in the holster.
Gina and I trained for approximately 2 months in all of the tactical skills that she learned for the film. It was about 40 total sessions is what it broke down to. Each session was about 6 hours long. When Gina walked into the warehouse, I didn't feel like there was anything in there that was unnatural, because Gina has a warrior mentality.
Nothing could have prepared me for the boot camp with Aaron. He taught me from the basics of guns to his life experiences with Mossad Secret Service. And I really feel like he really just kind of got in my head a lot.
Because you're gonna drop your gun and you're already holding as he's crossing.
It was important for me to let her know that when she stepped into this space, that we have to come in with a completely fresh mind because now we have a new operation. There's all kinds of people around us that are depending on us to prep her tactically for the role. Gina's so interesting because she's a real fighter. So there wasn't a lot that I had to do with her. She had so much hand-eye coordination.
Oh.
She was such an easy student, which was amazing because you could go into the more advanced stuff with her really, really quickly.
I think that the repetitiveness that Aaron Cohen put me through in learning the different guns, it was like step 1, step 2, step 3, and I just did these over and over and over days for like 8 weeks, just like being a 12-year-old boy and playing war, except for with a lot of discipline.
Drop into your 90 already, and I'm gonna join you on this side right away.
I really wanted to represent not only, you know, the film well, but I wanted to represent Aaron well because he's really passionate about where he comes from and what he's done in his life and the training that he puts his people through.
High range. Let's go.
She got really, really good at moving and shooting really, really quickly. And she ate up the weapon stuff. That was a big one.
How many times have you killed me?
A lot.
I ended up sharing her with fight choreography.
Big fan of Gina as a fighter because her background is before cage fighting was Muay Thai, and I'm a huge fan of Muay Thai. Saw her fight many times in the cage, and I can tell you that Gina could knock a man out with either hand or either foot at any time she wanted to.
I walked into their gym and there's just a bunch of like animals in there, you know, and I walk into fight gyms all the time.
She was coming to us from after her workouts with Aaron, and Aaron was hazing her pretty hard. So we had her come in, we'd give her like a 15, 20-minute warm-up stretch, maybe hit the mitts a little bit, and then we'd start showing her the choreography with the stunt guys would do it for her and say, okay, this is your spot, what do you think? And she'd step in, and slowly we break it down into sections. And then we went to the next stage of that, which was choreographing and shooting and cutting a previs for R.A. and Steven's approval. And we did, and they loved it.
They choreographed these beautiful fight scenes, but we made them very real so that you actually can believe that they could actually happen. Incorporating MMA moves into it, which I think is kind of a cool thing for the MMA people out there.
A lot of times when you have leads, they're a little tentative to hit people. They're like, oh, I don't want to hurt them. But Gina knows just how much gas to put on it right before it becomes excessive.
The fight scene with Michael Fassbender, that was my first one, the first one I did for the film. And I think that's a really special one, because we're just smashing each other into everything possible. I love that fight.
100 Apple, take 1, A mark. Ready, Steven?
Ready.
And action.
And we cut.
Of course, I've always wanted to kick ass in a dress, and that's actually true. I have a bag at home, and so whenever we go out and come home, I'll go and kick the bag at home in my dress, and it's fun. You know, you're not supposed to be doing that in a dress.
Michael Fassbender didn't have a stunt double for that fight. He did it all himself. And I was at the monitor holding my breath the whole time, thinking for sure he's gonna get knocked out. You know, he was like, so JJ, what should I do here? And I was like, well, you could tuck your chin and enjoy the ride here, bro.
She is very extraordinary. I mean, I think there's a willingness to sort of jump in, you know, head first, and Gina's definitely like that. I think having a fight training, you can see that she's, you know, she's a real sort of winner, you know, so she wants to get things right. You know, it's very important to her, but she's also very good at just sitting and listening to notes and taking everything in and then sort of applying them.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna palm him on the side like and action. Wow, I guess that would do it, wouldn't it?
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Ready, and action. Nice.
Every hit Gina put on him below the neck was pretty much full contact. We padded him up. She didn't hit him with 100% of her bad intentions, but she did get into him.
Whatever makes you more comfortable.
I'm a realist, you know. I know how to pick my fights. So I've got no problems that she's gonna, you know, kick my arse all over the place.
Vases are getting smashed over heads. We're tumbling over couches. I'm getting slammed into a flat screen. I think we almost broke that wall. It was kind of a romantic, crazy fight scene.
Action.
She'd ask me, does it look cool? And I was like, man, it looks sick. It looks super cool. Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice.
There was no egos involved. It was like we were taking care of each other, but beating the shit out of each other. So I don't know how that works, but it felt great.
I've been a fan of hers for a while. I'll just admit it. I love MMA. So, you know, her being, the sort of the pioneer and female mixed martial artist, you know, it's really cool to get to work with her. And, you know, to get to sort of butt heads with her, it was a little intimidating, but it still was like, it was very challenging in a way.
What the hell are you doing out here?
We worked really well together because we're both athletes, so that was a kind of a cool fight scene and very brutal. He breaks a ketchup bottle over my head.
You got anything else for me?
You just get covered, Mallory.
Channing Tatum is a tremendous athlete and a tremendous performer. I was extremely impressed with his skills.
I was a little nervous about one lift. He had to lift me up and slam me on my back, and I swear I was like, I almost broke it that time.
When he grabbed Gina and lifted her up, he just shot her right up to the ceiling, which was hella impressive to me. And great control.
You do something where you're like, oh, here we go. And then she helps you in a way because she is so aware of herself. And it was great.
Is that it? You getting in the car now? Huh?
For Channing Tatum to come in, this like stud of a guy that's kissing every girl in every movie, and then all of a sudden he comes and he gets his butt beat by me, and I was like, yeah, that's really cool.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I had a wonderful, wonderful experience with Ewan McGregor. We had a fight scene, and it was put together in 2 short days. He shows up, I show up. We're learning this very technical fight scene, actually. And then we have to take it to the beach where there's sand and water, and I'm telling you, we were so high on adrenaline that day. I mean, I just remember looking at him, and he was looking at me, and we were just like, here we go, we're just gonna make this happen.
The idea of getting a chance to see Gina do this stuff was very exciting. I had to punch right over Gina's head. And Gina had to duck, and she didn't duck quite as much, and I didn't stop it in time, and I punched her right in the head. And she came straight up, and she went, "Are you okay?" And she was right. I really fucking hurt my hand. I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay."
She is an amazing athlete that made a great transition into the movie business and did something that was very difficult, even for stunt people to do. I mean, it was a huge amount of choreography to retain while she had to learn her lines and do her personal training the whole time.
All you're gonna do is go here.
Gina just killed it. I mean, she really wanted to learn, and that was the cool thing. She was really into it, and she was really excited, and she just got everything so fast.
I was really happy for Gina in her career. I'm glad she started with us, and I'm proud of her.
Gina Carano!
I just couldn't be more grateful to be surrounded with better people during this process. Like, it really touched me. Steven just like took me by the hand and walked me through it, and he knew his vision for this movie. And I don't know what the rest of my life holds, but I know that it's been pretty special up until this moment.